Hey there, my name is Pravus, welcome back to more Hearts of Iron 4 Arms Against Tyranny. We started off as Finland, and within only a couple of years, we have formed a Nordic empire and also puppeted some of the Baltics. I would love to snag Lithuania for good measure if I can. However, considering I've generated too much world tension, it's not gonna work, at least for a bit. We might be able to do this before the Soviets attack me, which usually happens late 1939, like September, October timeframe. But overall, there's not a lot for us to do except just start ramping up as aggressively as possible. It helps, so we're gonna do things like indoctrinate the workers, and then we're gonna boost up our military power a little bit, and we're gonna get ourselves another research slot, then we're gonna go ahead and rush down here and get myself another research slot. And of course, there are some military focuses that we'll need to do as well, which can give me a few nice little things, some ahead of time bonuses, blah, blah, blah. Army experience gain, recruitable population factor plus 10%. You're gonna find that all over the place, by the way. Lots of ways of boosting up some of your recruitable population. Overall, something we do need to do would be to work down to something like this, Arm the Latasfjard, or however you pronounce that, which is more recruitable population, plus support companies give extra organization and HP, which is nice, and eventually that's gonna lead to things like even more recruitable population and stuff, division recovery rate, weekly war support from casualties, militarized society once we get all the way up the, conscription laws, and eventually we can form Greater Finland, though I will need to control a few states from the Soviets. But when they attack me, that's a trap, all right? We'll take them down. I'm not worried. In the meantime, we do have a couple of spies. I should definitely be spying somewhere, ideally where I'm not going to get caught, so let's go up in that direction. Once we get our spy network nice and high, we will of course go for those collaboration governments. Those are an absolute necessity because who wants to cross the gosh dang Ural Mountains? Not me. One of the reasons I really want to go for a very heavy infantry army this time around is you can't deny that an artillery genius with an extra 20% attack and 15% defense is so gosh dang good. I mean, between that and things like the army regrouping and stuff, we can have really, really good armies. All right, Finland is set up to be amazing. It's supposed to suffer because it's got a lot of political upheaval and it doesn't have a lot of equipment. But now that I've united all of Scandinavia, it ain't even that bad. Anyway, workers are taken care of. Oh, another thing that's really powerful for Finland, the Advanced Jaeger Training Program. Right, we can modify our fascist regime to give us a ton of extra special forces and just generally make them a lot better. Like, if we wanted to go heavy into something like the Mountaineers and such, that would be an option for us. If we wanted to go down special forces, spend a ton of army experience, right? We can get, let's say, a special version of the recon companies and stuff. We can move faster in the snow or in the mountains. Everyone becomes Space Marines, and if you have a lot of Mountaineers, it's just that much better. I mean, good lord. It's ridiculous. By the way, I don't know if everyone knows this yet, but recon is really good now. Because if you take a look at this, there's something special, battalion modifier for all artillery support and line. 10% more soft attack on your artillery. So if you're gonna go for a heavy infantry artillery division, you need recon now. It's not optional. One thing we are lacking is any meaningful type of, ship or anything. We could start trying to get some upgrades for my navy. I don't expect I'm gonna need a lot of this, but a little bit of a navy would not be the worst thing in the world. And of course, we do want to start working on some air support. I am researching an airframe, but we need to get things like some very basic machine guns and so on. Don't neglect that. We have some production now, or at least the ability to start ramping up in production rapidly with this many civilians. So we should be able to start getting some planes before maybe fighting the Soviets, but definitely before we fight anyone else, like, let's say, the Germans. How's our supply looking, by the way? The only area that's in danger right now is actually over here. This is one spot where we could actually take some pretty heavy losses if we're not careful. What I want to do when I fight against the Soviets is twofold. I want to take Leningrad very quickly, right? And then I want to cut over here, take this river for a defensive point, and I want to take up over here for another defensive point, encircle all the Soviet units up over this direction, and crush them. I did that in my last Denmark video, which if you missed that, it was a pretty good video. I recommend you check that one out. But yeah, that's ultimately my war goal here against the Soviets, and I really don't see any reason we couldn't do that. So here's one of the reasons I like taking over the Sujeluskunta, however you say that. Mobilization speed plus 25% recruitable population factor plus 15% is insanely good. We're gonna be able to start getting our manpower to ramp up oh so much faster. Good lord, I'm already done with all these factories, huh? Well, that's just sweet, ain't it? All right, well, let's think about this. When we do attack over here, I have to get this supply point And I want to cut these guys off, but I want to take this supply point as well. So I'll need to get some railroads connected over this direction, so we can plan on doing that, like so. But it's not gonna go anywhere for at least a little while. What are we lacking right now? Oh, it's the artillery. Big time, it's the artillery. Which makes perfect sense. Trying to get a bunch more factories on there, it's only gonna do so much. All right, military promotions. This is gonna make advisors a fair bit cheaper. We get some new generals. Army advisor cost goes down as well. Grant medal cost goes down by a lot. Okay, sure. And we just get tons of XP for all my generals. Nice. We also should definitely plan on creating just some very basic defensive units. This is the one I just got for free with anti-air and stuff. That's weird. Anyway, I want to get some Coast Guards, basically, because when we do fight against the Soviets, they're going to try some stuff like that. Nothing we can't handle, probably, but, like, yeah, it'll be annoying. Do we go to service requirement already? Little risky in that I lose a lot of factory output. I don't think I need to do this yet. We can hold off on this for a little bit longer. I will go ahead and start getting myself some, let's say, a ground support expert, just so I can start farming out a little bit of experience, air, etc. I don't know. When in doubt with political power, it's always an option. And I'll go ahead and also get myself a naval expert. I mean, now that I think about it, why did I do that? I could have just gotten this for cheap. Well, whatever. Tiny mistakes don't matter. Give me that gosh dang research slot. I mean, y'all say, oh gosh, idiot alert, idiot alert. I wasted 30 political power. Sue me. Actually, don't. I'd really prefer that you did not do that. Let's plan on creating that collaboration government. We are going to try to repeat this as much as necessary. Gonna take a little while to prepare. By the time that it's done, though, I'm hoping I will have gotten what I need for one more spy who can just maintain the network, and we can do this indefinitely. All right, we have the intellectual elite taken care of. Let's go ahead and finally work down some of this to get some extra infrastructure and so on. Work our way down toward the Bank of Aland, which is going to reduce consumer goods even further for at least a while. Plus, we can go for that 5th research slot. Collaboration governments are now in work. Hopefully we get that 30%. It's now May of 1939. I'm expecting to get attacked by the Soviets in the next 4 or 5 months-ish, somewhere around there. Let's get that artillery genius. Definitely think that's going to be worth it. That should give me a lot of extra soft attack on some of these armies. 185. Not bad all in all. Already in progress with another collaboration government. And we captured a Soviet operative. For a second, I thought for sure we just got captured. I was about to be very upset. Because I'm like, I'm deliberately not spying in Moscow for this exact purpose. That's fine. Italy joins Germany. Yeah, World War II should be breaking out soonish. How's my world tension's low enough that I actually could consider. Actually, now it only costs 1%. You know what? We could go ahead and try to take Lithuania. It only is going to take 1% of my world tension, which is below 10%, so I won't get guaranteed against. The declaration of war may take a little bit more, but like, meh? I'm gonna go ahead and start moving up to service by requirement now. It's gonna take a while to fully mobilize all that population. Yeah, it hurts my factory production. That does suck, but I can kind of live with it. Now, one fun thing about having Latvia and Estonia as my vassals. The Soviets are gonna look at this and say, oh, well, if we're gonna go to war against the Nordic Empire, we should keep a bunch of troops over here. I'm just not gonna call these guys into the war. Why would I? Let them just sit here wasting all of their time and their manpower while I go clear up the areas I care about, and then I'll just swoop down and crush them. Hey, who guaranteed Lithuania? I haven't generated 10% world tension. Man, that sucks. Well, I guess we could just cancel the justification at this point and say, screw it, who cares about Lithuania? I mean, we could, and honestly, I'm kind of leaning toward that now. When World War II begins, no one's gonna care about this anymore, but I have bigger fish to fry. Namely, I really still need to go and take out the Soviets. So, you know what? Fine, Lithuania. You live this round. Look at how weak the Soviets already are. They've got no supply in these areas. Their attrition's already killing their manpower. This is the thing. I could actually, instead of fighting the Soviets, like, properly, just sit here and let them throw themselves against me. We did it as Denmark, and I killed, like, what was it, several 100,000 Soviets at the cost of, like, 10,000 of my own men. It was ridiculous, right? So we could do that. But I don't want to sit around waiting for the Germans to get wise and say, oh, let's take these guys out. I want to finish them off first. So we're gonna be aggressive this game. And there's World War II. Okay, we saw that one coming. Honestly, for the heck of it, we could just invite Lithuania into the faction. If I'm not gonna eat them, then fine. Let's just take him as technically an ally or something, I don't know. We'll protect them from the big bad Soviets. Well, there goes Poland. Didn't expect that to last very long. There's the research slot. I'm a bit more excited about that. So what do we want to do next? Let's go ahead and boost up that military budget so we can start getting some stuff there. And that's the Winter War. All right, so September 1939. The Soviets are prepared to demand things from me. Yeah, no. They're gonna declare war on me in just a moment. Any second now. Just waiting for it, any second now. I'm a little concerned that they haven't declared on me yet. Did they give up? Did I look too scary? Let me go ahead and justify on them just to be safe. I probably don't need it, but just like in case, you know? I need to go to war against these guys. Oh, now they're justifying on us. On Finnish Latvia? No, don't do that. I don't want to call these guys into the war. You leave them alone. I'll be honest, I did not expect this outcome. We literally have avoided the Winter War. The Soviets are freaking terrified of me. Well, they have something like 210 divisions, 1 million deployed manpower. They have a lot more than I do. Oh, actually not as much as you would think. I've got 800,000 in the field right now. Still, like, they have a numbers advantage, but they also have a massive border they want to cover. So, especially if I can encircle like 50 divisions up over here, which is entirely the plan, all of a sudden, yeah, it's looking like a pretty even fight. Oh, never mind, they did attack me. Yes! All right, that's actually what I wanted them to do. Because now we get, you know, an extra 85% mobilization, 3% more recruitable population, winter attrition reduction, division on any core territory, and if we push all the way to Leningrad, we would be able to force a white peace from the Soviets. If I also have snagged these 3 states, we would be able to demand these in the same white peace and end the Winter War with some territory gains, which is technically all I need for the Last Wolf achievement, but I'm going for finish him, which means we're going for the throat, son. Now we are in a defensive war. I could ask for some volunteers, a cry for help, and for the next year, I get even more manpower, weekly manpower 600. Sure. All right, let's slow our game down for a second, see what's going on. They're actually hitting me really hard over here, which I think is interesting. I'm gonna wait for their offensive to end in a couple of spots, and then we're gonna go ahead and do a counter-offensive. I'm slowing the game down to speed 3 to make sure we don't mess this up. We should be seeing this looking good. There we go. All right, now's the time. We go ahead and do a couple of quick coordinated pushes. You guys push along over... Ooh, that's not what I expected. You guys push along over here or something. Get to this area, right? We'll cut this area off. Try to push down to the river. These guys should be just about now finishing their offensive. Let's go over here and try to surround Leningrad. That's important. And we'll go ahead and do a quick maneuver through here. Again, surrounding all the units up in this direction. Yeah, this is looking about right so far. We're already pushing down here. Hilarious. Italy's gonna send me some volunteers. Yeah, sure, go for it, why not? Okay, Leningrad is surrounded, which means we hopefully can start doing a lot of flanking damage against these guys. Our snipers are highly effective. Cool, snipers become more deadly. I think this really only matters like if they go into your core territory. So, considering I'm so low on infantry equipment, I'm gonna say that's not worth it. Normally it would be though. Okay, we've managed to snag this supply point. That means we need to immediately get this hooked up to our rail network. Should not take long. And these guys have now been basically encircled up over here as well. If I can just get literally to this port, that should be all of it, and these guys will all die. And then if I can start pushing up this direction, we can encircle this group as well. All right, and Leningrad not going as well as I would have liked, if I'm completely honest, but we have a very good defensive position right here. Okay, we captured this river. That's a very good defensive point. Still not making the progress around Leningrad that I'm looking for. I mean, the alternative is to push across the river and try to hit them and literally surround Leningrad. That honestly might be the way to go at this point. Dang it, I don't think we quite got to this port in time. It looks like the Soviets were able to evacuate all those units. Well, that's annoying. Okay, let's clean this area up quickly, and then we can redeploy some units where we actually need them. Over here, yeah, this is what I want to see. These guys are exhausting themselves in an attack across here, which means I should be able to do a counterattack across the river any second now. Well, I'll take it back. They weren't able to get all their reinforcements out of here. Okay, we can surround and kill off at least a few of them. There we go. Okay, so World War II is going exactly as you'd expect. The Low Countries in France just went down. I'll admit this is going slower than I wanted it to. I think we're still okay, but it's like this this should have been a little bit faster, but at least we do have the encirclement I was looking for, so that's gonna be a good chunk of units. Not 56, it can't be, but I could see this being about 30-something or so divisions captured, plus another, it only looks like about 6 left over here, so we got rid of a bit. Meh. At least we were able to cross the river over here. Okay, with that done, we need to start swooping down around this direction. Yeah, the Soviets have thrown everything they've got into protecting Leningrad. Very annoying. From an equipment perspective, we're mostly doing okay. Some support equipment losses, but overall not bad. Just finished training up a whole nother offensive-based army, so we got a lot of artillery on the field. Coast Guards are about to be kind of irrelevant, but I'll just leave them where they are. The Germans are leaving me alone so far, by the way. Seems like they have absolutely no interest in me. We've armed the Latesfjord over here, so now I've got that extra population and better support companies. Let's go for some extra heroes at the front. Goal now, get down here, grab this supply hub so I stop taking losses down here. Once I have that, I really do have a truly defensive position. Then we just move. Leningrad has fallen. Hold the phone. No one else needs to do any more stupid attacks. All right, so with Leningrad down, what you could do now, of course, is hold on to this for a month and then demand the white peace, like I said before. Don't even care. I'm not ending this war. The Soviets poked the bear. They have to pay. And like I said, they will occasionally try for those naval invasions, but very rudimentary units is all it takes to get rid of them. They're not that much of a threat. Okay, this should clean up this huge encirclement. Goodbye. Oh, and they did do a naval invasion. Gosh dang it. Fine, we'll deal with you too. Okay, now let's think about how we want to do this next. I think the next big encirclement could be swinging around this direction here, trap whatever units are in this area. The other option is to swing down along this river past Novgorod, hook back over to Pskov, encircle these guys, and then either keep doing that, going bit by bit down, or pull back, let them get back up there, and then just do it again. The thing is, I have to be careful that the Germans will want to attack the Soviets in about a year. So I don't have a ton of time to try and get in here and do all the damage I want to make sure I get the lion's share of Russia. I can now for Greater Finland, though. Gain a bunch of cores on the stuff I just took, and a bunch of claims on, like, Leningrad and stuff. Yeah, why not? Now, I know it seems like a bit of a step backwards to go from the Nordic Empire to Greater Finland specifically, but, like, let's be honest, this Nordic Empire is just an extension of Finland anyway. They might as well all know it. And now the Soviets have attacked Latvia, because of course they have. Right, no, you know, whatever, have fun, go ahead. I mean, as bad as this has all looked, let's keep in mind that I've still killed 1.2 million Soviets and I've only lost 60,000 men, okay? Bad as this might have looked and as sloppy as I said it was going, it's actually going great by every possible metric. Here we go, this is the kind of breakthrough I was looking for. We should be able to get in here to Pskov and goodbye. All right, that's another chunk of encircled units. And now we are also known as Greater Finland. Hooray! Oh, what do I want to do next? I guess we'll go ahead and keep working down some military budgets. I could do more economy stuff, but like, we're doing fine. Now we're gonna try to encircle our way up this direction. There's not even very many units left here, to be honest, though. This may not be worth the effort. In fact, I'm kind of inclined to say it's not. That feels like it's just gonna be a very costly war where there's no supply, but really nothing to gain there. So tell you what, we'll just make the Russians crap their pants. Let's go get Moscow. Don't worry, Latvia. I see you're on the verge of death, but I'm about to use your borders to entrap another bunch of Soviets, because I can. I think we're gonna go ahead and go down the shock and awe route this time, since I am gonna be very infantry heavy. This does seem to be going very well, by the way. Soviets are gonna be in trouble pretty soon, and yeah, if I can just get this tiny little encirclement over here, Latvia will have turned out to be a trap. And there we go. That's another small little encirclement. Not a huge one, but it's some. Okay, we're running into a lot of supply problems down here. Seems like our best option is we could try to capture this one right here, and then Yaroslav, we need to get, we can't advance unless we get some supply points. That's the real thing about fighting against the Soviets. They're not generally that scary or dangerous, all right? They're more afraid of you than you are of them. But if you don't get the supply points, you're gonna have a lot of unnecessary losses. That's just the way of it. I'm gonna go ahead and start building a whole load of oil processing plants. I'm anticipating we are going to need things like that. I guess I'll take some extra refresher exercises just to make it a little bit easier for me to train more units. We have a lot of manpower we're sitting on now, and as long as I've got equipment, which we mostly do, then I should go ahead and start training up a whole new army, shouldn't I? There we go, Latvia. See, you had nothing to worry about. I told you I'd take care of you. Now we control this supply point, which means when we get a little bit of time, it should be able to start taking care of us, and they'll have no supply in the surrounding vicinity. Okay, this is looking good. We're gonna begin our grand offensive down to the south, see if we can start cutting off what would be the German and the Axis advance. I wanna make sure that, again, I get the war score, not them. Okay, that takes Moscow, so as long as I can get the supply all connected, which we should be able to, this war just got a heck of a lot easier. So how are we looking so far? I hate to look. We've lost 100,000 men. We've killed 2.17 million. That's pretty good. Yeah. Pretty good. They're only 42% of the way towards capitulation. But I mean, like, again, not bad. Slight change of plans. Let's go ahead and do a spearhead maneuver this way. Let's just go ahead and cut this area off, kill them all quickly. That way I can just get a bunch of encirclements, finish these off, then I can worry about this. Our line is getting too spread out for this to work. And I need to be able to tighten up my defensive divisions to hold on to what I've got so far, because this is painful. We're doing well, but it's painful. There we go. And against the borders of Romania, we have now trapped all these guys. Easy. And we're also going for another big encirclement pocket right through here. That'll be another bunch of Soviets taken care of around Smolensk. Salvage and retool. We can get a lot of extra capture equipment ratio. May seem unnecessary, but I mean, like, that's not a terrible thing, honestly, just to keep ourselves stockpiled. The Soviets do have equipment, so we might as well steal it. I'm playing this weird game with the Soviets where they keep swooping in over here as I clear out a pocket. I pop back over here, I encircle it, I start cleaning it up, and they swoop in behind me again. All they're doing is just giving me tons and tons of free kills. I can't even really be upset. Again, we've only lost 150,000 to their 3.2 million. Right, we could work toward militarized society. So this is something special. If you have the all-adult serve or scraping the barrel conscription law, it offsets a lot of the damage that is done by taking such a very nasty conscription law. That said, actually, they don't even have 70% of my army. Oh, okay. I guess we've wiped out the Soviets then. Honestly, it's stuff like this that makes me wish I had a frick ton of motorized and cavalry, because their line is so thin that we could punch through if I just had speed. Alas and alack, I do not. But oh well, alright, cool. I think I'm gonna go ahead and end this video along here, but I mean, we've made really good progress. The Soviets are 100% going down. We will have the achievement very soon. The question is, what do we do after that? How many puppets do we take? How much territory do I take? Do I betray the German Reich? All these questions and more shall be answered in the next episode. Thank you all very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If so, I would ask you to hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And I will see you guys next time.